Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop again this week. This week I got 7 new comics. 6 of them were on my pull list. One of them was a pick up from the shelf. But first we'll show you my top of the printer museum covers for the week that I was looking at. And we have Sergeant Fury issue number 100, one of the Marvel 10th anniversary covers. This one's by Gil Kane and John Romita. They actually signed it in the spotlight over there. And another one I didn't even know I had. Sometimes, like in the 90s, if I went through, on occasion, I'd go through back issue bins and pull out these Marvel 10th anniversary covers. Probably got this for $3-4 or something. But it's like, I don't even remember that I just pick them up because I liked these Marvel 10th anniversary covers. But I did not remember I had, this might be reprints even. I think it was in reprint stage by then. And this, I don't know if this would count as an indie comic because it's Wildstorm. I don't remember if this is pre or post selling Wildstorm to DC. Plus, it's a licensed book, Supernatural Origins. Ryan Sook did this cover. He once again signed it, and it's just sort of this, I don't know, what would you call this? It's like an Adam Hughes-ish technique he was using. I don't think Ryan Sook never reminded me a lot of Adam Hughes, but this cover kind of does, just with that glow around their heads and such things. But those were the 2 I pulled out just to have on top of my printer this week and look at them as I walk by. And a little comic shop news. Looks like the news is Spider-Man. Unveiling All-Star Spider-Man. Okay. I guess there's another Spider-Man book. Spider-Man number 1 is a $4.99, 48-page comic by Dan Slott and Mark Bagley, scheduled for October 5th release. Didn't we just have a Spider-Man number 1? Or is that an Amazing Spider-Man number 1? Because they just relaunched Spider-Man like this year, like it's on issue 5. So how do we have another Spider-Man number 1? I don't know. Pretty soon, Dave Sim is ahead of the curve with every issue being a number 1 of Service now. Pretty soon that's the way it's going to be. A little Daredevil cover there. What else do we have? Judgment Day. Looks like their latest crossover. Oh, they're doing that's what they said last comic shop news. They're doing a Miracle Man month. There's Avengers Miracle Man. Every comic is going to have a Miracle Man cover. I just don't have that much. I bought Miracle Man back when it was coming out in the 80s, and I just have no interest in it anymore. So, all Marvel stuff. Bloodstone and the Legion of Monsters. Madballs versus Garbage Pail Kids. Nightfall, just more stuff that's coming out, more indie stuff. We'll give that a read. Let me show you what I got now this week. Speaking of Marvel, I actually bought a Marvel book. Of course, it's a facsimile edition. I picked up Tales of Suspense number 57, right? The first Hawkeye and first Black Widow. I think there's Don Heck artwork in this one. Yep. Little Hawkeye, little Don Heck. I probably have this reprinted somewhere. I couldn't tell you where, but I like these facsimiles. So, I like the dollar ones. I like the facsimile ones. The Watcher's Power. I don't remember. There's a whole Watcher story in here. I probably never seen this part reprinted. I don't remember seeing that. Wow, look at that. See that? Stan Lee, script and art by Larry Lieber, inking by George Bell, which is George Russo's. So there you go. First one I got. Oh, then this is the one I picked up off the shelf, The Lucky Dead. This is another one of the books in the Radiant Black universe. I think they call it the Massive Verse or something like that, because they had that one shot called Massive that introduced it. It looks similar. Same style of, I'd call it Invincible style. Who's it by? Jeez, they have all this weird stuff there. Writer, Melissa Flores. Artist, French, Carlo Magno. Colorist, Mattia Iacono. letterer Becky Carey, production artist Trisha Ramos. Okay. I said I'll give it a read. I've been liking the other Massive Verse stuff, so I'll give that a read. Then we've got Ant number 4, Enter the Dragon. Erik Larsen's been doing this one. Oh, there's a cover to Ant number 5. And he's been, like, I think Ant and Savage Dragon had a team up a few years ago. And, like, Erik Larsen's been trying to weave Ant into his Savage Dragon Image universe. So he's, like, telling the stories over again from a slightly different point of view. Not that I read those other stories. That's some good Erik Larsen art, and I've been enjoying Ant. Why not? And then this is a weird cover. Mind Management Bootleg, issue number 2. Kinda wild. This is Matt Kindt and Matt Lesniewski. Bill Crabtree on covers. And this is the one where like all the other Mind Managements were on this like matte paper, this uncoated paper, and the art seemed to fade into it a little bit. It looks like the coloring is different on this one, and it's not doing the same thing. But I like Matt Lesniewski's artwork. It's pretty neat stuff. He's got this weird, cartoony, Graphomania style, you know. And I enjoy it. Like I like Matt Kindt stuff best when he draws it, but I like some stuff when he doesn't draw it. And I like the first issue of this. Well, it's certainly in my pull list, so we'll see how it goes. Once in Future number 28. Dan Mora, Kieran Gillen, Tamra Bonvillain. This is our King Arthur story. Ooh, nice horse right there. Where all of the UK or Great Britain, I don't even know if it's Ireland. Great Britain has gone back into this fairy tale world, somehow blended with ours. I don't know how the rest of the world perceives that. And our heroes, a young guy and his grandmother, are trying to change it all back. But it's like all fairy tales are true in here. So there's many different versions of all sorts of people. Sword in the Stone appeared last issue. And in fact, I don't know who this water demon. I think they've been trying to summon a water demon to fight the Arthurs. There's half a dozen Arthurs out there, all fighting each other to be the one true King Arthur. And I'm just amazed that this is at issue 28. Sometimes I'm like, I'm glad to have something at issue 28 that I can take for granted. It's kind of like, you know how sometimes you buy a comic for a while, you start to take it for granted, you don't get excited about it. You read it, you like it, but it's not like it was new. And I'm like, so few comics I buy ever reach issue 28 that I'm glad to have one that I've started to take for granted. I enjoy it. I'm not going to stop buying it. It's just a funny experience. And here's Spawn 332. Still only $2.99. I'll once again say, because I was telling someone at the comic shop when I was just there, they're like, "You're buying Spawn?" I'm like, last of the $2.99 books, I have to buy it. I have to put my money where my mouth is. I say comics are too expensive and they should be cheaper. Well, here's one that's cheaper, so I should buy it. And Todd McFarlane's not writing it. It's Rory McConville. And Carlo Barberi is drawing it. And there's some big Spawn war going on. Additional script by Todd McFarlane. Sometimes I read a line and I go, that's got to be Todd McFarlane. I don't know if it is or not. But sometimes I'm just like, that has to be Todd McFarlane. It sounds so corny. But the art in it is nice. The story is just sort of this big Spawn war. There's spawns everywhere. This type of spawn, that. There's evil spawns attacking them. There's some super bad guys attacking them. There's heaven and hell wars going on. It's solid. I'm okay with it. But like I said, if it goes up to $3.99, I'm dropping it. The last one I got this week is another Rory McConville written book, completely different, Time Before Time. And this is up to issue 15. I'm going to have to start taking this one for granted soon. It's been around 15 issues. Who's drawing this one? Declan Shalvey is actually co-writing. Rory McConville and Declan Shalvey have been co-writing this like since the beginning, but I think the last couple of issues were just Rory McConville. Eric Zawadski is the artist, with Chris O'Halloran as the colorist. Eric Zawadski is a Zawaddzki. I think he hasn't been on here before. This is a new artist. This is different art. The guy who's been doing most of it kind of reminded me of Mike Mignola a little. This guy is definitely not that. He's got his own sort of thing going on. So see how this is, but this one's about time travel. There's two criminal syndicates that run time travel from two different times. And our main heroes are this man and woman. This is the woman, I think, right there. She was an FBI agent. She quit and grabbed this guy who ran a time capsule. He was trying to get out of that life because he ended up working for criminals. So those two have kind of been fleeing together in time. Meanwhile, I think that's her right there. Nice panel right there with the cards. Meanwhile, we've also been getting a lot of, like, in between their story arcs, we've been getting story arcs about other people. Like our last story arc was about this cop who the syndicate, the cop was her ex-partner, so he's an FBI agent, I think. And the FBI agent from the future. And he was looking into her disappearance, but the criminal syndicates let it be known that he should stop looking in her disappearance, and he had no choice. Oh, I like that drawing too. That woman with a monocle. So it's been a good series. I've enjoyed it. Like I said, and it's up to issue 15. That's pretty cool. All right, let me show you a little of my artwork. What have I done this week? I did Dreams of Things 146. I marker colored. This face almost lines up with that face. If you remember right, that face kind of lines up with this big ink drawing I'm doing. This face doesn't quite. That face back there almost lines up. Not quite. It doesn't do as well as this one does. But this is the one I just finished. This strange orange woman with her straw hair and a big old blue dude staring out from. This is a different one for me, and it doesn't give you much sense of the space they're in. They're like crammed in this cover space rather than a lot of my other. Well, that one's crammed in too. I've done other ones with lots of space, but like a weird world behind it. But there's no sense of the weird world in this one. I wonder if that I just discovered another theme. That's because sometimes I discover them after the fact that I'm doing them. It's like there was a bunch that had 3 faces in. I did like 3 or 4 in a row that all had 3 faces in them. And I did a bunch in a row that were kind of big faces, and I did a bunch in a row that were landscape oriented. So it's kind of like I get these little themes going that I'm not even aware of until after I see them. So it's a little weird. So there you go. Little look at some art, little look into the process, and some comic books. And don't forget I have a Patreon down there if you want to click on that link. And you guys have a good week out there.